This video demonstrates how to create a vehicle carbon dioxide emissions calculator in Microsoft Excel. It calculates how much carbon dioxide a vehicle emits when burning a single tank of gasoline. Row 1 of your vehicle carbon dioxide emissions calculator must have the following 4 headers: vehicle type, gasoline tank size in gallons, carbon dioxide multiplier, and carbon dioxide emissions in pounds. Format columns B, C, and D to have 1 decimal place. Accomplish this by clicking on column B, then holding down the Shift key, then clicking on column D. Note that this highlights all the columns. Right-click on any highlighted column, select Format Cells, select the Number tab, select the Number category, reduce the decimal places to 1, and click the OK button. Cell A2 must contain a drop-down list of 7 vehicles. To create a drop-down list, click the plus symbol at the bottom left corner of Excel to create Sheet 2. In cell A1 of Sheet 2, type Small Compact Car. In cell A2, type Average Compact Car. In cell A3, type Small Sedan. In cell A4, type Average Sedan. In cell A5, type Average SUV. In cell A6, type Average Truck. And in cell A7, type Large Truck. Click on the Sheet 1 tab in the bottom left corner of Excel. Click cell A2. Click the Data tab on Excel's top menu bar. In the Data Tools menu, click Data Validation. In the Settings tab of the Data Validation pop-up box, under the Allow Validation Criteria, select List. Click the Source button, click the Sheet 2 tab in the bottom left corner of Excel, click on cell A1 and drag your mouse to cell A7, thereby highlighting all the cells. Then hit the Enter button on your keyboard. Then click the OK button. Notice that Excel automatically returns to Sheet 1, and also notice that a small arrow now appears in the corner of cell A2, indicating that this cell has a drop-down list. When you click on the arrow, your list appears, allowing you to make a selection. I've now switched to the finished calculator in order to illustrate its functions following the creation of nested if statements. Notice that when selecting Small Compact Car in cell A2, the gasoline tank size in cell B2 is 13.2. When selecting Average Compact Car in cell A2, the gasoline tank size in B2 automatically changes to 14.9. When selecting Small Sedan in cell A2, the gasoline tank size in cell B2 automatically changes to 18.5. When selecting Average Sedan in cell A2, the gasoline tank size in cell B2 A2 automatically changes to 19. When selecting average SUV in cell A2, the gasoline tank size in cell B2 automatically changes to 16.5. When selecting average truck in cell A2, the gasoline tank size in cell B2 automatically changes to 26. Finally, when selecting large truck in cell A2, the gasoline tank size in cell B2 automatically changes to 37.5. The automatic changes in cell B2 occur because this cell contains a formula with 7 nested if functions that specify the gasoline tank size of each vehicle. Nested if statements may look complicated, but they are very logical. Follow along on Excel's formula bar as I read through the entire nested if formula in cell B2. We start the formula with an equal sign and the word if. We then open a parentheses, which Excel colors black. And it says, if cell A2 equals a small compact car, and notice that that's in quotes, then, and that's denoted with a comma, insert the value 13.2. If that was our only statement, we would close it with a closed parentheses. That closed parentheses would be black because we opened it with a black parentheses here. The black parentheses, however, is located at the end of the entire if statement. That's because there are several more vehicles to consider. So rather than closing the if statement, we leave it open and insert a comma. The next if statement opens with a red parentheses and says, if cell A2 equals an average compact car, and that's in quotes, then, denoted with a comma, insert the value 14.9. That's our second if statement, and if that was all we had, we would close it with a red parentheses. The red parentheses is at the end of the entire if statement. Since we have more vehicles to consider, we leave it open with a comma and say, well, there is another vehicle to consider, so if, this time open parentheses purple, cell A2 equals a small sedan, and notice that that's in quotes, then, denoted with a comma, insert the value 18.5. Notice this purple parentheses is closed at the end of the if statement. Since we have more vehicles to consider, we leave it open and insert another if statement. This one is a green parentheses that says if cell A2 contains average sedan, and that's in quotes, then, denoted with a comma, insert the value 19. Notice that this if statement is closed with a green parentheses, again at the end of the entire if statement. Since we have more vehicles to consider, we leave this entire if statement open with a comma and insert another if. So if, this time a maroon open parentheses says, if cell A2 equals average SUV, and that's in quotes, then, denoted with a comma, insert the value 16.5. This parentheses would be then closed over here at the end of the if statement. We have 2 more vehicles to consider, so we don't close it, and we leave it open with a comma followed by an if statement. So if, and this is a brick red open parentheses, if cell A2 equals an average truck, and that is in quotes, then, denoted with a comma, insert the value 26. That brick red open parentheses is closed here. Since we have 1 more vehicle to consider, we need to leave this entire if statement open, and thus we insert a comma here and put our final if statement here. So we have an open parentheses. This is kind of a sea blue color. that says if cell A2 equals a large truck, and that's in quotes, then, denoted with a comma, insert the value 37.5. Notice that this is in fact our last if statement, and it is closed then with the C blue parentheses. Writing out this entire if statement from small compact car all the way to large truck allows Excel to assign a numerical value to a vehicle selection that a user makes. Thus, if we select small compact car, Excel automatically inserts value 13.2. If we select average SUV, Excel knows to automatically insert the value 16.5. This makes our calculator functional for 7 different vehicles. Notice that cell C2 always contains 19.6, meaning that every gallon of burned gasoline emits 19.6 pounds of carbon dioxide into Earth's atmosphere. In cell D2, type the formula that displays the number of pounds of carbon dioxide emitted into the air when a selected vehicle burns a single tank of gasoline. Type an equal sign. Then click cell B2. Then type an asterisk. Then click cell C2. Then hit the Enter button on your keyboard. Notice that Excel calculates the answer to the formula, and also notice that Excel's formula bar displays the formula. With our drop-down list of 7 vehicles, our 7 nested if statements, and a carbon dioxide multiplier, we now have a functional calculator. Notice that when selecting a vehicle type from the drop-down list in cell A2, the gasoline tank size in cell B2 automatically changes, and so too does the carbon dioxide amount in cell D2. Using this calculator allows us to see that burning through an entire tank of gasoline while driving a small compact car with a gas tank holding 13.2 gallons emits 259 pounds of carbon dioxide into Earth's atmosphere. Burning through an entire tank of gasoline while driving a large truck with a gas tank holding 37.5 gallons emits 735 pounds of carbon dioxide into Earth's atmosphere.